Welcome to the Better Man Show. I'm your host, John Matuz. We're back with Coach Al Morentin. So far, there's Al. So far we've been going through the 21-day reset. I'm on week number 3 now. I've made it through the first 2 weeks. And the next week we're getting in, it's going to be mostly stuff that's juiced. So you're doing a lot of juicing, a lot of that type of thing. But I was going to let you know what I can expect for week 3, and also how week 1 and week 2 are the foundation of what we're going through right now.
Right on. Awesome, John. So, but yeah, how do you feel right now? Like, have you had any changes?
Yeah, I was telling you, I have this shirt that I love, and I always wear it. But man, whenever I kind of stretch out a little bit, it feels tight in my back. And the other day I had to get to work early, and I got dressed in the dark. I was just grabbing stuff out of the closet, went to my meetings, came home, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh my God, I've got that shirt on." And I kind of did this, and it wasn't tight at all. So all my clothes are fitting better. Went body surfing last night. I mean, not on purpose, but my daughter was out with her friends and they got a little far out there. So I had to go and swim out there to make sure they were okay, and rode a couple waves in, but I'm feeling good. Another thing is I've always had, maybe for the last 10 or 15 years, I've had a lot of pain in my wrists and elbows. And I just noticed when I was doing the workout last night, when I got home, that it didn't hurt at all. I mean, usually when I pick up a dumbbell or something, I got to kind of hold it on the end so that it kind of doesn't hurt when I'm doing stuff. And I had no pain in my arms and elbows, sleeping great. Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. The program is great, and your supplements are easy to take, and it's not as difficult as I thought. Because I mean, look, there's a restaurant in Pico Rivera, right, that has my name on the menu for the carnitas plate, right? So I'm definitely a guy that likes to eat that kind of crap. But hey, so if I could do this thing, anyone can, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. That's beautiful. Yeah, and yep. And I hear you talking about Pico Rivera. That's my longest standing friend in the world. I met Marco in kindergarten, first day of kindergarten. Yep.
He's a good man, and he still looks like he did when he was in high school. Man, the guy never ages, and makes some good food. So if you're in Pico Rivera, go to Salsa Grill. I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
That's awesome. Yep. So anyways, yes. So the as you were mentioning, the first 2 weeks of the 21-day reset sort of prep you for the week that you're on right now. So what John is doing, like you said, is juicing or blending this week. So there's no chewing. As we mentioned the previous week, each week sort of gives your digestive system more and more of a rest. So this is the ultimate rest. The blended and juiced, meals are pre-digested basically, so it's the least amount of burden on your digestive system, so all that energy can go for healing, building your immune system, etc. So but the previous 2 weeks actually prep your body for the week that John is on now, and like the first week preps you for the second, and then those first 2 prep you for the third. And we've seen people that just try to go into juicing and blending meals just from the get-go, and skip the first 2 weeks, and they don't have as good of results as when you have when you do the full prep and do the full 21 days, because there's a process that has to happen in it, and the 21 days is like sort of that threshold of change to happen. So in other words, like you could do a start off juicing and blending and stuff like that, but you would generally still have to do 21 days of that. So you could get the same results or better doing what John's doing, and it's way easier, and way less stress, up in mentally, because stress actually causes toxins to develop in your system. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that was working. And like you said, the first 2 weeks were pretty easy. I mean, it was easier than I thought, because I have a really busy schedule. I have a hectic job, and I've been in the same industry my whole life, and it just gets hectic during summertime. We do a lot of works at schools and government buildings, and it hasn't cramped my style one bit. I haven't had to really adjust to anything. Anything I needed, I could just pack in my car, good to go. And like you said, I live in Southern California, so there's hippie, juice shops on every corner, right? And you just got to find the good ones that aren't just loading it up with sugar and all that other stuff. But it's pretty easy to find where I live. So the first 2 weeks have been no problem whatsoever. The workout that you gave me is great. First 2 days, I was doing 3 rounds, and then I upped it to 4. And I think that's the right amount for me. And so the workouts have been going well. And like I said, my sleeping, I've always had trouble with sleeping. And, with your supplements and, the diet that we're on and the program that we're on, weightlifting and everything else, I go to sleep like, I hit my head on the pillow and my wife's going, man, how do you fall asleep so quickly? You just closed your eyes 2 seconds ago and I'm already snoring. So yeah, I'm feeling great.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. And that just shows that you're actually doing the program, because I always tell people, they don't believe me, but I always tell people that I could tell if they have actually done it properly or not, just by the results they get, because it's just the way your body works, and we figured this out. We've done over 10,000 people on this thing, so what's going on. And people like you came into it with a mindset, just because you're on a mission right now, and it wasn't like, like I'm going to like think about this or try to reason or can I do this or whatever. It's just throw whatever at me and I'm going to do it, and that's sort of the attitude you have to have with the 21-day reset, because a lot of people, especially because people have heard of cleansing and detoxification, from the internet or whatever. Back in 2003, people thought it was like, oh, you're doing a drug rehab program, like, no, this is food and getting healthy. And but now people, like, they have like isogenics and all these different things, and these different programs where they're trying to sell you these powders and potions, and the 21-day or a cleansing and detoxification program is the way that they're selling you their stuff. And so they have these misconceptions about it, and they and they try to rationalize, and I can't do this or that's not going to work or whatever. And it does work if you just do it and let it work, and that's why I always say, don't let your college education or your business sense get in the way of your health. Just follow the program and let your body show you what it could do.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like working with you, Al, is because you and I are doing this one-on-one. We're doing it for the show, but this is the same kind of attention you give to all of your customers and all your clients. I mean, you're available for people, and you've walked thousands of people through this program for decades, right? And This is the kind of attention and the kind of hands-on advice and coaching that you give to anybody that starts this program. So if anyone out there wants to get on this program, get with Al. I mean, I don't know if he does it with one at a time or if he tries to get a big group all together at once, but tell us more about that, Al.
Oh yeah, so it's generally done in groups. So and we have meetings and things like that. Like every week to find out what you're doing for the upcoming week, and then there's a meeting at the very end. And a lot of times there's like a little, if it's in person, there's a potluck kind of a thing, a celebration, and you learn how to come off of the 21-day reset and maneuver back into general society. I like to say, and when you're eating. And you can sort of decide what you're going to do, and you even get to learn how foods affect you, and because you add them in slowly back in. We'll talk about that probably next week or whatever. But but you'll be able to understand like what foods affect you good and which ones don't. And it's a perfect opportunity for that, and people never have that opportunity. It's super super awesome.
Right. Yeah. And you were talking about me coming into this program with the right mindset, and it was like, Rick, I remember I called you that night and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm not the guy anymore. Right. I've got to change my life. And so, I mean, having that mindset started at that moment, but when I see how much production and how much behind the scenes work goes into a show like this, I've got people counting on me, right? I mean, it's not just me and you. It's like, there's a lot of things involved here. And, when we first got on the show, I was on Facebook telling friends, hey man, we're going to post a show pretty soon and yada, yada. I had no idea what goes into this. So now that I see what it takes to make the show, my mindset's even more, laser targeted on what we got to do, because, there's a lot of people that are involved in this thing. And I appreciate, all the support that you're giving us for sure.
Right on, right on. Yeah, it's super awesome, and sometimes it takes that in order for a person to make the change. Especially if you're used to, if you're the breadwinner of the family kind of a thing. Then you're sort of used to like helping other people and putting yourself and your own goodwill at bay. And but so like you having the show and like being like a something for people to strive for, like, hey, this guy's doing that, maybe I could do it too. Then you don't want to let them down. That's the perfect situation for someone like you, because you're like, okay, it's on now. Like it's game time, and let's do this. I'm not gonna let anybody see me fail. Kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest motivator, right? Public humiliation is like the biggest fear in the world. Yeah, I'm not going to let that happen to me or you. And talking about that, about the show and about the foundations is, my foundation that I want to start the show is based on nutrition and health and fitness and getting to where I want to be in that prospect. But, we're also going to get into stuff that I'm really involved in. I do like kind of a lot of adventure kind of stuff, and I got a kind of a exciting life outside of work. My work life's exciting too. It's pretty hectic and crazy. We can talk about that too, but we're not just going to have health and fitness coaches on this show. We're going to have people that show us how to use. I do a lot of archery. I shoot a lot of guns. I do surfing. I do body surfing. We're going to do scuba diving, jump out of airplanes. We're going to do lots of fun stuff. But I want to do it when I'm at my peak fitness wise, right? So that's where we're starting with the fitness and nutrition base of our pyramid. As we move up the mountain that we want to climb on this journey, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so prepping your body and your mind, like and getting it optimal, so you thinking clearly, all that kind of stuff is super cool. But beyond all that, you also want to do like things like dress, fashion kind of a thing, and just have the all around kind of a situation going, like the Renaissance man, right?
Yeah. So the whole fashion thing, there's a guy that is in music named Paul Weller. He's my hero when it comes to fashion and the way I want to dress. And when I get to my the size and weight that I'm going to be, I'm going to reward myself. Every time I hit a plateau, I'm going to have this British tailor make a suit for me. And so you guys can go and check that out and see if you guys like that fashion or not. And then literature, I love books, love history. I've got a couple of friends. They went to seminary together, actually. One's my cousin, and they're the two most interesting guys in the world. So we'll bring them in to discuss, history and art and, that kind of aspect also. And I also have an archaeologist friend that, according to him, he knows where there's a sunken treasure, right? So we might even go after that, right? So, we're going to do all kinds of stuff on the show. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and like John said, like he is, his work life is, the schedule is super crazy, and it is a high level kind of a job, and and he makes a lot of stuff happen. So, and a lot of people depend on him in his work, and so like just so much energy goes into that, and then so much energy goes into everything else. Like you have like so much like so many things that you do. You're the perfect specimen for this. Like nobody could say like I don't have enough time, because like I don't know anybody that is more busy than you.
Right.
Because like you almost make yourself that way, because like your whole workday is packed always, and then but your like social life afterwards and with your daughter, everything, like it's all you're always doing something like almost every single day, it's super awesome. Like it almost makes me tired just looking at what you do, So yeah, like people think like, oh man, I have this job, I have this whatever going on, I can't, I don't have the time to do what he's doing. He's not only doing that, now he's doing a show too. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I don't want to be that grandpa that you see sitting on the porch, drinking a beer, after work every day. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. We had our daughter when we were 44, and our sons are in their late 30s. So, our plan was to sell everything and retire when we were 45 and just go be bums on a beach somewhere, right? That was our deal. And then here along comes our angel, and it's like, hey, no, we're going to work for the rest of our lives, so we might as well enjoy it, right? So definitely a blessing, because if it wasn't for her, I'd be like living in a cave somewhere in Tonga or something with a beard down in my belly. So thank God. Everything happens for a reason, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I might have some interesting things that I do this week that I might film, out of the studio. So some people might be able to see some adventure-y stuff. Got some kayaking stuff coming up, and a couple of whitewater rafting trips and some body surfing. So we'll get some of that on the show.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Oh yeah. So you just had a birthday too, right?
Yeah. So I'm 58. Just had a birthday. Wife and daughter bought a compound bow for me. So we sighted that in the other day, and so that's pretty fun. Shooting arrows. It's kind of one of our family hobbies that we do once a week. So I had a nice little birthday party.
That's awesome, awesome. And then and you usually do a rafting trip during this month as well.
Yeah, so this year we're going to do it in August because the water's so high on the river that we go on. Usually, river rafting stops about mid-July on the Kern River, but this year and last year they're going to go all the way to Halloween. So we might even go again in September. So we use the same company every year. I'm going to say their name, Whitewater Voyages. They're the best. We use them every year except for one because they were booked, and that was the worst trip of my life. I'm surprised that we lived through that one when we went with another outfitter. So we will never not use that company.
Right on. Awesome, awesome. Very good.
All right, so we'll come back next week after my week of juicing. Do you have any tips or anything you'd like to talk about that I might? Oh, we got to talk about the water fast that I'm going to do on Monday. Can you kind of explain that a little bit before we check off?
Yeah. So there's a couple additional things that can be done on the 21-day reset during the third week to enhance the program or to make it work at all, kind of a thing. And there's two things. One is a water fast for 24 hours, and the other is basically enemas or colonics. Like they have those places, but guys that don't generally do enemas. And the water fast is just an additional, like, deeper cleansing kind of a situation, and it really is it's an awesome experience because it's not just what it does, like, biologically to your body. There's a certain, like, control that you gain when you do it, because like, you constantly want to reach for food, and you've been taught that you need to eat or you're going to basically die, or if you don't have enough protein you're going to lose all your muscle if you're a guy, all that kind of stuff, right? So you're not eating, like, or not juicing, not no calories at all, basically just water and maybe a couple of minerals or something, but that's it. And like, psychologically it changes you. It's super awesome, and then biologically it does too. Like there's something about a water fast that is just amazing, and that's why Jesus did it. That's why you see it in every religion, in every culture. They all have fasting in there. There's a reason for it, and because it's just so beneficial for you. And then the enemas, they're good in and of themselves, because they help to remove toxins, and like, if you have parasites, it can help to remove those and things like that. But especially during a cleanse and a detoxification process, that you're encouraging toxins and other organisms to be released and into your bloodstream, and then, like, the different binders will grab them, and then they'll go and you'll eliminate them through waste, through poop or whatever. And if it's possible to get stopped up, like, it's possible to have diarrhea, but it's also possible to get stopped up. And if you do get stopped up, then all those toxins and other things like parasites or whatever could just be sitting in your bowel, and then they'll say, I don't want to hang out here. Then they'll just go back into your body, into your bloodstream, into your organs, and to your digestive system, or wherever, into your gut. And like, all that work that you did will have been for nothing, right? So you need to make sure that you are eliminating daily and stuff like that. And so that's the one thing where the enemas will get stuff that's like packed in. It'll remove waste, but also, if you are still having, like, good bowel movements and stuff like that, if you do one anyways, then you'll still get some extra benefit because you're encouraging more waste to come out of you, kind of a thing. And then there's also things like coffee enemas that people just rave about and love, there's I was mentioning to John before we recorded, like, it doesn't make you get all hyper, like drinking a cup of coffee does, but there's some stuff that it does to your liver and even your kidneys, but mainly your liver, where it starts to detoxify it, like, really hardcore. And a lot of people these days, because of the toxic environment, toxic food, toxic water, toxic air, toxic everything, our liver and kidneys, our organs are overburdened, so like the having that happen, having that detoxification that way to your liver is something that's beneficial.
All right. Yeah, so my water fast day will be Monday. So I'll give you a call and let you know how that's going. But yeah, like I said, man, I'm a guinea pig. I'm a lab animal. I'll do anything you tell me to do. And then, we got 2 more coaches after you. I'm going to do the same thing with them. And yeah, it's working, man. The program's working. Like you said, I came in with the right attitude. I came in, following everything verbatim, just like I said I would. And, like I said, and again, we got so many people involved in the show. I thought it was just going to be some, kind of a thing just between you and me. And, we put something up on YouTube or something. But yeah, this is a legitimate show. There's people involved. Yeah, we're not going to let any of our team down for sure.
Right on. Awesome. So good job, Don.
Hey, thanks, man. So, so thanks everyone for coming out and watching our show again. I think this is episode 4 or 5. And so this concludes our episode of the Better Man Show. I'm your host, John Matuz. This is my coach, Al Morentin, and we'll be back next week. Thank you so much.